All right, everybody. Ding, ding, ding. We are back in the house. This is Troy Vaughn, also known as Trey Amazing, your favorite part-time stripper, part-time mega trespasser, but I am the full-time dating commentator, and this is Ringside Presents Corner Confessions. And I am here with a very cocolicious, perfect interviewee today. Her name is Coco Kitty. She has a great history. I mean, she was just giving me her history here in Atlanta, and she has a very colorful backstory. She, has some very interesting, well, you know what? I take it back. Let me say this. I can try to do an intro, but it's not going to do her justice. So I want the Coco Kitty. I want her to kind of give me her brief introduction, who she is, and what brought her to Atlanta, and what is she known for.
Oh, it flipped on over?
Yep, flipped on over to you.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been here since 98. I started out, I guess, that typical little story of how, parents separated, mom had to move, all of that sort of thing. So, I guess I grew up, outside the suburbs of Gilbert, Arizona.
Okay. AZ in the house.
Yeah, Magnet High School, a little spoiled. Yeah, I was that little black kid, so I understand token very well.
Mm-hmm.
Real into my studies. But then once, me and my mom parted from my dad and came here to Georgia, I just became wild. So I just became all the way wild. I actually, baby's first strip club. So hard-headed, 17, figured out where the money was, and I was like, I'm fixing to take my ass to the strip club.
Get that money.
Get that money. But growing up in Arizona, I'd always grown up listening to Nirvana, Butthole Surfers, Rancid.
Look, I'm with you on Nirvana. The other stuff, I'm a Kurt Cobain fan, so I'm with you there.
Okay, so I got it. I was that black kid. I dressed in goth for a little bit, and then I went through my Spice Girl phase. But when I came here to Georgia, it was a culture shock for me. Growing up in Gilbert, Arizona, I mean, I would walk out. Back in the day when I walked out, they still had farms out there.
You said farms?
Farms.
Nothing wrong with farms. Look, hey, that's farms where things grow, and we need farms.
Horses.
Yeah, you gotta have
there was horses and livestock, all of that stuff.
But you were in Arizona. They didn't celebrate MLK Day, did they?
You know what? I am young enough and old enough to remember when they had the unofficial marches, my dad would take me out of school and we used to march every year down to the park, and it was we did that every year.
I like your dad woke.
Yeah, I can't say we didn't celebrate it, because we was gonna celebrate it anyway. But yeah, once we got here, I got kind of wild, was working at the strip club, couldn't shake for nothing. Uh-huh. But 17, definitely too well developed.
It happens.
It happens. So, as long as I didn't say nothing, they didn't say nothing, everything's copacetic, everybody was good. I made enough money. Mm-hmm. I was good. So I was dating this dude, and he was like, the way that you are, you should go and work at the white strip club.
You know what? Let me. It's always because of a dude. You know how many stories I've heard?
Because of a dude.
It'll be women well, I started stripping because of my boyfriend at the time.
Well, I was already stripping. It wasn't his fault. I was already stripping. Okay. I was working at Jazzy T's.
Shout out to Jazzy T's. Okay.
I miss Jazzy T's, even though I got kidnapped from Jazzy T's one time.
Okay.
Almost got into... That's a whole nother thing. Trafficking. It's a whole nother thing.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't shout out Jazzy T's. Okay.
No, it wasn't Jazzy T's fault. It wasn't Jazzy T's fault. But that's a whole nother thing.
Okay, big shout out to Jazzy T's. But go ahead. What happened?
But yeah, so the dude, he knew what kind of music I was into. So he was like, well, I bet you would really make a killing if you went to a white club. Mm-hmm. So I was like, well, all right. I mean, fuck it. I'm down for it.
Hey, why not?
So I was going to go for it. So, so when I was at Jazzy T's, because I was all, underage and innocent, I still technically was innocent. They called me Innocence. So then when I went to the white strip club, got hired, and at the time, I want to say there may have been 2 other black chicks that worked at this club. And I remember the house mom. I will never forget. I love Morgan. Oh my God. I love Morgan to this day. But she was like, okay, so what's your name going to be? My name's Innocence. She said, oh no, honey. This is a white club. You can't bring that ghetto shit here.
What?
Word for word. Yes.
How's that ghetto? Innocence. How's that ghetto?
Really?
I don't understand that.
Really?
Is that because that's
the name Innocence?
Is that some people?
Would you name it like they had names like Elizabeth?
What the?
Becky.
For real?
Yes. This was a white strip club.
I've never.
They were still playing like this was back in the day. They were playing Leonard Skinner, Frank Sinatra. Like I got lucky and could get like Korn, White Zombie, Rob Zombie,
so
Concrete Blonde.
You stripping alongside women named Tabitha and Penelope. And,
yep.
Wow.
Yep. Catherine, Diana.
Wow. Okay. You know what? Enough said. Okay. Innocence.
Right. So she was like, "You can't. This is a white club. You can't bring that ghetto name here." So she's like, "What's your name gonna be?" And when I was in high school here in Georgia, I was kind of an outcast, but I had two friends, and they of course were the popular guys on the football team. So I guess a little bit I wasn't quite the duff because I wasn't fat, but I was that weird black chick that hung out with the two football dudes. And one day we were talking about, well, what are we going to do after high school? And one of the guys, I was like, well, what am I going to do? And he was like, you're going to be a stripper. Oh?
Oh, he's spoken into existence.
I said, okay, so what's my stripper name going to be? So he said, we going to call you Kitty.
Kitty?
So fast forward to the new white club. What's your name going to be?
Kitty.
Kitty. So I've always been really, I don't know, like headstrong. Like I just remember growing up always being called like the white sheep of the family, or the black sheep of the family, or the green sheep now of the family.
Ah, because you got that money. I ain't mad at that.
But like, you know, I really liked working there. It gave me the chance to kind of be free. And this was, of course, like I'm really kind of aging myself because this was back in the day when like dudes could not touch you. Like it was just a whole different game. And I know like the ones before me can say it was even a different game before. But, you know, I believe that if you mess with me and touch me, like, and the security, they gave us time that it was like, you know, if we can't get to you before, do this until we get over here and handle it. So, you know, I had a few little karate moves.
There you go.
So if somebody ever did something, like I had no problem with smacking somebody, pushing somebody. I've just always been a little dominant, mean little thing.
You always been a dominant, mean little thing.
Yeah, like just kind of if I want something, just go and get it.
So would you say, and I'm pretty sure I know the answer, so your time as a stripper kind of ease your way into the lifestyle of a dominatrix, or what is the correct title? Because I've been corrected a couple
times. That's okay. We get into it. So working at this white strip club now. So apparently there's this regular this little. Well, he wasn't super old because I'm kind of getting around in that age now. But this regular that used to come in, and he kind of noticed me being a little dominant. So I know some doms won't always admit it, but the way that I really found my calling was this sub trained me to be his dom.
Okay.
So it was kind of cool.
He was training you.
Right, to be his dom.
He was interviewing you for a job. You didn't realize it.
He was like, you about to take charge of me, and I'm going to tell you how.
You're going to take charge of me, and he's going to pay you big money.
To tell me how. So that was really how I got into it. And I guess like, I don't know if this would be considered an extreme, but what he was into, like, he was really into like CBT, cock and ball torture.
Cock and ball torture.
Yep. So
I don't think maybe I'm a little vanilla. Maybe I still got a little vanilla.
That's okay. I saw you look at my shoes. I looked at
I was like, you know what? I'm pretty sure those shoes have a backstory. But as far as the cock and ball, I don't know what my cock and ball's torture.
He was into that. Like he was into like, yeah, he liked for me to kick his balls.
And I just so happened to look down at the shoes.
Did you just so happen to look down at my shoes? It wasn't these shoes. This was like 20-something years ago. But yeah, so that was really how I got into it, and it just really grew from there. And how it turned into professional is, once again, I mean, I was a stripper, so I got kind of spoiled, and it was like, you got to pay for my time. So it's like, oh, you'll pay for my time, and I ain't got to, what? Oh, wait, I got to tell you what to do? Wait, hold on, I get to take you out in public and embarrass you, and I get money on top of this?
Well, damn.
Oh, okay, we can do this. So that was really how I kind of flourished into it. So whenever I wanted opportunities or to learn something or saw something interesting, like trainings, you know, like actually the way that I became a bondassage practitioner is I thought it was a super cute,
bondage. I'm learning, you're expanding my lexicon, man.
There's a lot to expand on. So like my bondassage, what I always like to tell people is like, it's kind of like if you're curious and want to tiptoe into kinky sort of stuff without the extremism, it's a light submission. It's a sexy light submission roller coaster ride. Because you still have to completely submit. There's some sensory deprivation, but anyway, but how I got all of that was I thought it was a super cute name that I saw somewhere. I used it, and the founder sent me a cease and desist. Or what I think that's what,
a cease and desist.
Yeah, like or something, not a cease and desist or whatever it is that I couldn't use that term. It was trademarked.
Yeah.
So then I went on to ask her like how this whole thing, and she gave me the rundown, and got trained and learned how to do the sessions, and then actually met with her and got trained to train other people, and love it. The rest is herstory.
The rest is herstory. Okay. And so, you know, that, wow. Okay, I'm still, I'm gonna do my best to try to not look at your shoes and,
what?
You know,
No.
I'm just, you know what? Let's. Can you hold? Let's. All right. Okay. Okay. So being a dominatrix, I mean, you have, you know, all the years you've been doing, you've seen, you know, quite a number of people, right? I'm pretty sure you've seen, you know, a lot of different kind of men. Are there ever women that
all the time? Definitely.
Now that I've never heard of. That's a question that just popped in my mind. Like, would a woman pay another woman to dominate her?
Yeah. I think honestly, so I'm not a psychologist, but for us, for women, I think that sometimes that men can be a little bit too much more forward, more domineering. There's a little bit of a stigma. Just kind of like the best example that I like to give is like when I do have sessions, like when women flip over and they're topless and they're completely exposed. Like most women, I don't know like what your familiarity is, but most women want to cover up, especially when they're laying on their backs. So there's a bit of a vulnerability that a lot of women don't experience with men, so they want to come for me, and lo and behold, I'm definitely a lot rougher than a lot of men, but at the same token is I have a lot of the same lady bits, so I understand different sensitivity, different things that's going on with that. So yeah, I get women all the time.
That was a very arousing description. So let me, you know, in terms of stigma and, you know, perception, I've certainly heard in circles where, you know, when you bring up things like BDSM, you know, particularly around a lot of black people, you know, you'll hear people say things like, oh, that's white people shit. You know, black people don't do, you know, all that leather play and gimps and stuff like that. I've heard that several times. I don't agree with it, but you get around enough of us, you'll start hearing things, particularly, you know, when it comes to non-vanilla things, non-traditional or unconventional, you know, sexual practices or, you know, whatever you want to call it. You hear enough black people say, oh, that's white people shit because black people don't do that. What would you say to the people that really feel like what you do is, you know, that's not typical for black people? That's what white people started. That's what white people are into. For the subscribers and for the people out there who may not have a concept of this, what would you say in terms of black people who are not only, participating in this, but are thriving and,
Be comfortable in you.
mm-hmm.
Like, my best example, a lot of the people that I work with, and actually I am working with some amazing professionals to secure more of a black kink space
Mm-hmm.
for those people, for the people of color that do want to experience it. And I'll say for me, the biggest thing of how I got into the whole industry of it is that I had had trauma in my teenage years. I was raped. And it held a lot of trauma for me. And the strip club was my ease into it. But once I really got into domination, I feel like when I thrived with it, it was my therapy. And some things I'm into, some things that I'm not into. But I think that people just need to get way more comfortable in themselves and finding releases. I think that that's one of the biggest problems, is that people don't feel comfortable seeking out something that they have curiousness about, and then it all builds up. And a lot of times they go out and do some things, or they might have an opportunity in the wrong situation, and then it becomes a bad situation. So I really want to, just let black people know you can do it. Like, people out all the time, people are like, oh, so I bet you get these dirty old white men. Who you think a dirty old white?
That's the impression people think. They're thinking, things. I know, what you grew up, seeing on Real Sex, and you thinking about old middle-aged white men, just
because back then, they could pay for that. They could pay for those kind of productions of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's be real. Like, you wouldn't see that on BET at 2:00 in the morning. Like, right before the pastors fixed to come on. Like, it just wasn't something that was presented, you know. And I actually had a conversation this morning. I had these little group chats of industry folks, and we were talking about how we don't have a lot of these outlets to talk and share and to be comfortable in. A lot of people look down on it, when there's a lot of people that it's like, oh, that's you? Okay, well, I'm not into, but I got a friend that, and I think that if more people would feel comfortable and confident that it's not something weird, that there's not anything wrong with them, because all the time people wonder, how can I be so comfortable in what I do? It's like, okay, so you gonna tell me that you gonna do this or let this person do that, and you just gonna take it, and you really didn't even like it? So it's like, I get to wake up, even on a bad day. I know my bad days are still better than other people's good days.
That's right.
So it's like, if I'm stressed out, like, I love it. Like, I don't know if you follow me on my Twitter at bondassage kitty, but I keep forgetting.
I will tonight.
But like, I got bored one day and wanted to just do a photo shoot. I've been wanting to dress up as a black Peggy Bundy. I know you remember Married with Children. I dressed up as a black Kelly Bundy. I had Peggy Bundy. I had the big red wig and the leopard and all that stuff. And just so happened, one of my little play subs, he wanted to come over and cook. And I was like, oh, okay, this is perfect. So I keep forgetting that when I was taking those pictures, that he is literally in the background cooking with his mask on, in some girly panties and an apron, cooking for me.
I like how you just put it out there. Not only was he cooking for you, but he was in his girly panties and apron. I'm like, okay. Hey, I guess, another thing that's really, really gnawing my brain, coming from Arizona, and you're in Georgia. I mean, you're in Georgia. You're in the Bible Belt, where things are very conservative. Of course, you have a lot of people who are, Puritans in public, but perverse in private. But in public eye, they have to be seen at church. They have to be, just maintain certain morals and virtues or whatever. But as far as your client list and the people that you see, I'm pretty sure you come across people who may be living a double life. They may be coming to see you, but during the day they may live a life completely contrary to this kind of lifestyle.
So definitely.
You've seen, a lot of that. I mean, you and I were, joking off camera as far as like, just like you go to a strip club, you're gonna see pastors and deacons.
Yeah, you
and
do.
You're gonna see some of everybody. Now they're not gonna let people know that at service next morning.
Unless they try to sneak away from where like the little choir girl tried to sneak away, and now they done snuck to the same strip club.
I'm like, I see your ass.
I'll tell you, back in the day, I used to work at one of the swingers clubs, and the funniest thing is there was a party, and I just bartended and go danced, and every now and then, like, I would do little domination scenes, but there was this big blackout party, and just everybody was up in there, and my family is pretty close, like, I got one of those, like, yeah, you know how black families is, they just extended on extended. Well, one of my uncle's friends just so happened to be at this swingers party. Hey. And I'm standing there, and he, all of a sudden, he just couldn't get hard, and he wanted to sit there and talk with me about what I was doing in college. And I am just, like, I really didn't care. I had stuff to do anyways. I didn't feel like, I didn't want to watch him. So I think that a lot of people think that people are so worried about about your business. Nobody's worried about your business. They too busy worried about their own business. So yeah, I think it's just one of those things that people need to get out of their own head. Because trust me, all in all, when the pastor is coming, he knows what he's doing. He's really and truly, a lot of my guys that I've worried about, like, I've actually had to fire a few clients because I didn't want to be involved in any controversies. So, like, there's been some that have, like, I've gotten some calls, and it's just like, do not call me on this line. What the fuck is wrong with you? I am not trying to be right. And then you talking about that as well. No. So, I really just think that a lot of people are just way more into their feelings and worried about what other people think when nobody's really judging them.
I heard that.
Like, I think my favorite, and I did this marketing years ago, was I just had a simple slogan that said, "Don't worry, your wife doesn't want you to know either."
Well, damn. Okay.
I had that. You asked about women earlier. Like, I've had so many women that have snuck to see me, and it's like, well, you could bring your partner, and it's like, oh, they don't know.
Oh, no, yeah, no.
And these are lesbians, these are straight heterosexual, like, all types of women, just like all types of men. And when people think that one man or one certain particular person, the stereotype is supposed to be this, flips you all the way around.
So, you know what? Let me ask this, because you mentioned Peggy Bundy and Married with Children, and so that was kind of a scene. Do you have any other favorite scenes or scenarios?
Oh my gosh. Really, it just depends on how I feel. Like, most people know me for my imagination coming into a session. Like, I've done sessions, as crazy as it sounds, like wearing a unicorn onesie.
Okay.
Like,
wait, a unicorn?
Like, you know, that you would get at Walmart with the hoodie and...
Okay, what are you gonna do with that spike?
No, it's just a little fluffy spike.
Okay.
But it's like, are you segueing into fluffies?
I know there's a fluffy community here in Atlanta, so I'm gonna find.
You gonna try and find the fluffies?
Because I want to interview. I've only seen fluffies on HBO's Real Sex. I'm like,
you gonna find them?
I'm gonna find them. If they out there,
I'm gonna help you find the fluffies.
If they out there, yeah, I'm gonna find you.
Sure. And people, and I get it. Like, I get it. Just like, I don't mind being out there when people ask me, well, what if we run into each other? I mean, I would speak to you. No, speak to them like any other stranger and keep it moving. They ain't paying me to speak to them. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Like, oh, hey.
Keep it moving.
Oh, hey,
hello. Yeah, speak to them like a stranger and keep it pushing. But I'm just like that. Like, I'm comfortable with sitting in my own space. Like, I don't feel like I have to be the center of attention. I don't want any drama, because drama is, if E ain't picked it up, that drama is not gonna make me any money.
Okay.
So
I like that.
TMZ ain't picked it up, drama ain't gonna make me money. So it's like all the time. But I have a few people that they actually like going out with me. Mm-hmm. Like, I think
you seem like a lot of fun.
I am a lot of fun.
You seem cool.
Oh, I think the funnest scenario, I went with I guess he's more of a friend now. still kind of subbish, but more of a friend. We went to a concert, and of all the lines to stand in this concert, and I always try to tell some of the gals that I mentor, dress considerate. You can still be sexy, but dress considerate, especially if you're going out with people, because the people stand in this concert, huge venue. It's a concert. Literally, the people right in front of us just so happened to turn around, and they were him and his wife's friends.
Okay.
And the wife definitely asked, "So, where's your wife?" And it was like, "Oh, well, she's at such and such. This is my friend. Yeah, we came out. I couldn't find anybody to come with me to the concert, so she just so happened last minute." As where the booth that we were in the other private booth next to us, you could definitely tell that guy had paid that girl. She looked like a 17-year-old, like, implanted booty shorts. It was cold outside. Like, which strip club did he pull her from? Like, even the other wives in the booth were cackling at this whole situation. But nobody knew what the situation was. Like, I've had some really fun scenarios that people don't always have to know your business.
It sounds like you've had an interesting life, to say the least.
Oh my God. It keeps getting more and more interesting.
So, I think it's about time that we introduce your friend. So, please introduce your companion. You brought with. So, again, I'm not going to give the best introduction because my introduction won't do your friend justice. But introduce your friend. Where you're from and what you do, and all that.
Well, Cherry is here.
Cherry is in the building, y'all.
Cherry is in the building. Cherry is custom cherry wood, born, designed in Georgia. And what she does is she makes anybody's ass red. It doesn't matter how dark, how pale. She likes to make that ass red.
Okay. Cherry likes to make asses red. Before we continue on that, everybody out there, if you're watching right now, make sure you hit that bell, subscribe to the channel. And if you are on Facebook, make sure you find the Ringside Facebook group. That is Ringside. That is the digital community. Make sure you request to join it. Either myself or one of the admins will admit you. Now, back to Cherry. Cherry is making asses red.
Cherry is making asses red.
So how did you and Cherry meet? Did you, just meet each other out? Like, hey, how you doing?
She was designed just for me.
Just for you.
Yes, this is my baby. I have to treat her as such.
How long has Cherry been in your life?
Oh, Cherry would be 5 years old.
Oh.
So she's been very good for me. She's been very, very good. So she actually has a little sister, but we let her stay at home and hang out.
Poor little sister.
But no, she was made. I'd actually had a submissive, just as I was telling, some little mentees, when people were like, "Oh, we'll set in a price tag. And I said, well, don't count it out, because just because somebody can't give you a dollar amount doesn't mean that they ain't handy. And we all know that Jesus was a carpenter.
Okay.
So this dude didn't have a lot of money.
Oh.
But, when I say his skills, like, he built my St. Andrew's cross that it actually, like, mounts to the ceiling and it'll actually pull you up. It's super tall. He built a custom stockade that I can travel with. Well, I wouldn't take it on an airplane. And he made, like, my spanking bench. Like, I got a really wicked little spanking bench.
Ooh, bitch. You can say spanking bitch.
Well, she's wicked. Like, where you stick your arms in that's just wicked. It doesn't seem like it, but it's just wicked. I like to play the wicked little games when I play. So he made Cherry for me because might freak you out, but I'm a bit sadistic.
You're sadistic?
I'm sadistic, so I like people that are into pain, and I like causing them pain.
Alrighty. It doesn't freak me out, but yeah, again, I ain't mad at it. When you talked about, the St. Andrew's cross and the spanking bitch, I'm thinking your place probably doesn't look like an IKEA showroom.
There's a lot of IKEA stuff in there, though.
Okay.
There is. There's a lot of IKEA stuff. You got to get creative.
I like some things from IKEA.
Yeah, like you get creative with some stuff and like you make it work.
Okay. As long as you don't, I was one of those people going to IKEA and get lost.
Nail stuff to the wall, though. Just nail it to the wall because you don't want it toppling over in the middle of a scene.
So, let me ask you. So, you and Cherry, you two have had some wild adventures, I'm sure. What has been some of the most, I guess, memorable as far as a client, you and Cherry, specifically with Cherry?
Oh my God, with Cherry, I think my absolute favorite was my pet that made her for me. It was his 63rd birthday.
All right.
So
big 6'3".
So what do you get on your birthday?
Spanking.
Ah, yes. So he got 63. And I actually have pictures of it. I'll send them to you in a little bit. Is
63 spanking.
63, and as you can see, there is nothing on her face. It's just cherry wood. So when I was done with his ass, it looked like a skull. It looked like a skull turned to the side that Cherry decided to put on his butt. I will send you a picture, and you'll be like, well, I'll be damned if that ain't a skull.
That is okay. All right. Well, I mean, some people break in the big 6'3", all kind of other ways. Maybe going to a nice restaurant, maybe going on a cruise, on a Tom Joyner cruise or something like that. But I'm with it. I ain't mad at it. I probably won't be doing it, but I'm not mad at anybody that wants to break in a 63 like that. It's a great story to tell the grandkids. Like, hey.
Well, he wasn't telling the grand. No. He was one of those that was super discreet. Super discreet. Like, and plus two. Now that actually will remove Cherry for a second, and we'll talk about that specific pet in some of the ways that I actually get to work with submissive. So this guy, to go along with that stereotype of, the white guys that want to see the black dom, I guess you can say he was that typical 63 white Republican. And a lot of my submissives are knowing, not just for pain, but I call it mind fuckery. Mind fuckery. And thankfully, I've had support.
God.
So stay with me in this story. Because
if you say what I think, okay.
So I like to create scenarios that make people feel uncomfortable. That's why I also work really well out in public, because I'm personable and sneaky, But so I decided one day, all right, cool. You know what? I'm gonna do something really good, because I knew that he was this definitely was right around that time that Trump had got elected.
Oh shit.
Definitely very Republican.
Oh shit.
And I know some people think that it's not proper to talk about religion, race, politics.
But let's do it anyway.
Because I like to I want to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm comfortable. But let's see how...
It's okay to be comfortable in other people's discomfort.
It is. And a lot of people don't understand that.
Back to the sadistic thing.
So, the sadistic thing. This is a bit sadistic. So, I decided to have my pet over, and I told him I was going to fix him dinner. And then I decided, like, my homeboy, who is like Adonis, Jamaican, black man, proud, yes, with the body. He was my homeboy. But I was like, shoot, I'm cooking. Why don't you come over and eat? So he was comfortable and cool. He was confident in himself, so it wasn't bothering him. So I was like, cool, it'll be fine in this situation. I didn't tell neither one of them that they was going to get to meet each other. So
I kind of already see where this is going. That's right. But keep going. I can already see it. I'm like, oh, she woke.
I mean, I'm old enough and in the South. But so I cook lunch and I serve my man, my friend, my homeboy, serve him first, serve my plate. And of course I have a dog dish. I put some scraps into the dog dish for him and set it on the floor. It's okay. We've all got our food. Okay. Let's all say grace, our thanks.
Yes. Yep.
The way that we can say thanks in our own way.
Got to thank the man upstairs.
Yes. We can always be grateful. And, you know, I grew up where we sat around the table. Like, that was conversation time. I thought most black people did that. We had dinner together and we sat, that was conversation time.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have conversation. Let's talk about welfare.
You know, this is okay. This would be an interesting political debate set up for him, but I see where you're going. Keep going.
So I've got.
What's your position on welfare?
Oh yeah, because I knew my homeboy that was I knew his stance, and I knew my little old white Republican his stance, and yeah, that definitely, and he had to maintain poise. I'd beat the hell out of him. You can have as much opinion as he wants to say, but if he got up and left, I would have beat him all the way down the hallway.
Oh my gosh. So at no point did you make him say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud?
I wanted him to go ahead because I wanted him to say it right in front of that black man. This is what you asked for and you are getting what you asked for. So let's go ahead and tell it.
Well, I heard that. This was critical race theory before critical race theory.
So, you know, it was definitely one of those scenes. It definitely almost broke him. Like, it really did. And he actually, oh God, he continued to see me for years after that.
I was going to ask him, like, I'm guessing he probably came back too.
Oh, definitely. The only reason why I had to stop seeing him because he went into retirement. So it was harder for him to get away. So the wife is just kind of like, where you going?
Like, don't worry about it.
Right. No.
Can't tell the wife that.
No, you can't tell the wife that. He's not. Nope. He couldn't tell the wife that.
He couldn't bring her. I'm like.
No. He showed me a picture of her. No.
Wasn't going for that.
Not at all. Not at all. I would probably not be sitting here. The Klan probably would have found me.
Oh. The Klan would have paid for
Right. She would have had some cousins.
I was hoping you were gonna I hope you were gonna reenact like a slave scene or
actually
the slave beating the slave master or something like that.
I do need to find a cameraman. There's I found an old plantation and I actually found some white people that would do this reenactment. Like they would do a whole scene.
There's actual porn out there like that. There's porn videos out there where white folks and black reenacting slave scenes.
Well, like how is that? Because I saw that fiance picture where that white girl like had her black fiance in shackles.
What the hell? You ain't seen
that? Oh my God. That. Oh my God. It was like an engagement photo.
What kind of engagement? What kind of engagement involves shackles?
But who am I to really judge? Because I'm talking about putting a bunch of like white folks in a field while I ride around on a horse with a whip.
That I want to see. I definitely want to see that. So
might stir a little bit. I'm still working on it. We're gonna see how that comes up. We're gonna see if we can put it together.
So, before we end this, my last question would be, for the people watching who, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be watching this that may not utilize the service of a dom. What are some misconceptions that you want to clear up? To end out this video and this interview, some things that you want people to know for certain because, people are going to have misconceptions. They're going to have stereotypes. They're going to generalize. What are some things, if you, take this opportunity to set the record straight as far as what you do and the value, what do you want people to know?
I definitely want people to stop thinking that whatever they see on the TV is real. Not everybody, I'm not a screaming dom. I like to giggle. I like to laugh. I don't like to make a scowling face. I think I have a pretty face.
You do.
I don't want to turn that face. That makes it look ugly. Right. This is, whenever I'm calm, that's when you need to worry about me.
Uh-oh.
But no, I think that people should understand, too, if they want to get into it, a real dom is going to want to make sure that there is a level of comfort. Mm-hmm. Because, even when being forced, everything is still consensual. Everything is always consensual. For me personally, I want to find out, do they have heart conditions? Do they have seizures? Do they have diabetes? Any little things that I need to worry about, if I need to stop. I had a guy have a seizure. like one time with me. And, thankfully he gave me the heads up so I knew how to handle the situation. So there's people there that want to make sure that you have the best sort of situation for the best sort of experience for what it is that you're looking for. Because really and truly, find what it is. Find your piece. Find your place. Nobody should judge you for that. If you want to be weird, like I get men that want to wear fishnet stockings.
Pretty.
Right. I mean, I get people that, as weird as it is, they like being burned with candle wax.
I've heard that before.
Right, or knife play. I know, that's crazy, but knife play. Find people, and there are people out there that want to play in safe spaces. So I just want people to know that it's okay to be a little different. It's okay to be a little weird. Find your piece.
Indeed. Okay. I think that's a great way to wrap things up, and I do like that. Find your piece. So for the people who may want to find you and Cherry, where can they go? Are you on social media? Are you on TikTok? Are you on whatever? If they want to rendezvous with you and Miss Cherry, how can they go about that?
They can actually go to my website, The Cocky Kitty.
The Cocky Kitty.
The Cocky Kitty. TheCockyKitty.com. You can find me on Twitter at bondassage kitty, or you can type in The Cocky Kitty. As well on Instagram, I am The Cocky Kitty, and I have not yet figured out the whole TikTok thing yet.
I'm not on TikTok either.
Okay, good, because I'm just like, how do I do a TikTok? I mean, do people want to see me like in my strap on TikTok? Like, I don't really want to have. I don't like to record a lot of my scenes. I like to keep them private.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they can always shout me out. I'm around.
Everybody, if you're looking for information, it will be in the description. We're gonna have your social and your website in the description so people can find you.
Okay.
And so, hopefully you may get some DMs, some phone calls, and people may want to meet you and Miss Cherry. So, thank you again so much for indulging us here in Ringside's Corner Confession. This has been eye-opening. It's been stimulating. It's been eyebrow-raising, but all in all, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and we look forward to a part 2 because you have a story that needs a sequel. And yes, I am here for it, and I hope I capture it, and I hope you join us again.
Definitely.
All right. To everybody out there, again, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell, drop some comments down below. Make sure you follow the Ringside group. And until next time, we out.